All right, let's start handling the form submission. Back to our register component, we can use the use action state of React to handle our form submission. So let's start by saying const, and we want to grab state action and another property that is called is pending. Then we want to set this to use action state from React. So let's import that first. So at the top of the document, I can say use action state from React, and then down here, we're going to use it. Now this hook is looking for two arguments. The first one is the action or the function that is going to handle this form. And the second one is the state. And we are going to create a separate document for our actions and then import them here. For now, let's just pass the name and I will call it register. And as the initial state, I would just pass undefined. Now this function corresponds to this action, and this is the one we want to use on our form. So down here, we have form and the action attribute. We just want to use that action, which we have up here on the form. Now let's create our register action in a separate document. So this is where server actions comes in. Inside our source folder, I'm going to create a new folder and I would call it actions. And then within that, I will have another document, which I would call it auth.js. So since we don't have any markup here, we can just use JS as the extension, or if you are using TypeScript, we can say TS. So we want to create a function called register and export it so we can use it in our component. Let's create and export our function at the same time. We can say export function register, and we need to accept two parameters here. The first one is the state, and the second one is form data. And for now, let's just log something into the console, and I would say register action called. Now let's import this in our register component, so this error is gone. If we retype this register, VS Code should help us, and we can import that from our actions folder. Now we still have one problem here, and that is using a use action state or a client hook in a server component. So if we check our website, you notice we get that same error as before, that we are trying to use a React hook that only works in a client component. However, we are in a server component. So to fix this, we can use the use client directive at the top of this register component, and that will fix our problem. Now, if we open the console and press register, you notice we get register action called, but we don't see that server tag, meaning this is being run on the client side. But we want to call this and process the data on the server. In order to do this in our auth.js document, we can use the use server directive at the top of the document, and this indicates that all the functions in this document must run on the server. But as soon as we add this, we will get another error. So back to our website, if we take a look at this error, we can see that all server actions must be async functions. So that makes sense because we are calling the server and we want to wait for the response. So all the server actions must be async functions. So let's fix that by adding async keyword before the function. And back to the website, if we now press register, you notice we don't get anything in the console of the client side, but back in our terminal, you can see the logs that we got a few times since I reloaded my page and pressed register a few times. So this is how we can define action servers. We create a separate document and then we use the use a server directive at the top of that document, and all the functions here must be async. Alright, so now we have our function and we just want to get the data out of the form. So in order to get the data out of the form, we can create a few variables here. Let's call the first one email, and we can use the form data and then the get function and then the name of the input field. In this case, we want email and then password and also confirm password. And then we will log all of them into the console. So again, back to our website, let's give it a reload. Let's add some values here and press register. You notice the form was reset, so that was submitted, and we don't get anything here in this console, but back in our terminal, we can see the email and the password and confirm password fields. Now we want to validate these fields and then process them. So we need to use some validations. And for that, we are going to use a third-party package called Zod. And we will do that in the next video. However, before we do that, I want to talk about this is pending. So first, let me just log that into the console and see what we get. So you notice when we reload the page, this is false at first. And when we press register, it becomes true for a moment and then back to false. So while the form is processing, this is pending property is true. And we can use this on our button to disable it if the form is processing. Let's delete this log and go down to the button. And first, I want to bind the disabled attribute to isPending property. So I already have some disabled classes included in this btn primary, so we don't need to worry about the classes. And also for the label or the text of the button, I want to make this dynamic. So let's add curly brackets and check. If isPending is true, we will output, for example, loading. But if it is false, we would just output register. Now here you can have any spinner or loading screen that you want to show, but to keep this simple, I am just rendering the text loading. So to see this effect on the screen easily, let's add a promise to our function so we can delay our form submission. So this is just for testing. You don't have to really do this, but if we await for a new promise at the top of our register function and say resolve the promise after a few seconds. So let's say set timeout, resolve, and let's add 3 seconds. So we're just adding a 3-second delay, and then we continue with our form submission back to our website. Let me close this one and give it a reload. If I press register, you notice the button is disabled and the text says loading, and when it's done, it is back to the way it was. So using this use action state from React is quite easy to handle forms. Now in the next video, we will go through validations.